Well, it looks like we're live. I think we're live. Now, I am flying solo tonight, so do treat me gently. I'm just going to bring up... No. What have we got? Just trying to find the chat. Right. Yes, I'm flying solo tonight, so like I said before, it's basically going to be a complete hash. But there is a song, apparently. If you go up to the loft today, you'll be sure of a big surprise. If you go up to the loft today, you probably will believe your eyes. Because there's lots of trains up here. And a rather confused Jenny too. And you know the rest. Anyway, big hello to all of you. And a lot of people saying, Happy New Year. It's not next year yet. We're still in last year. But it's great to see you all. I can see J. Pedro Rocha, Gamehammer Classic Gaming, Tim Davis, Skipsy Train, Samuel Dennehy, the original Half-Ass Customs, Mark Hemmeldown MR, Southern Train Girl, Flymo Chairman 1, Gus Hadley, the Lunatic from Ammo, Patrick Furlong, Worthing Model Railway, Francis Wadsworth, Liam at New Mills Model Railway, Alex Dent, Jerry BVR, Dominic Z, our Kickline correspondent, great to see you in. David Simpson, Paul Murphy. We've got a great turnout. Don't forget, tickle that like button. Share the stream as well on social media. Let people know that we are up and running live and dangerous. I also see John N from NC, Nigel Cole, Dean Fielding, Manthony 1956, Gone Loco, Simon, Dave Holloway, Valleys 56XX, David Watts, Malcolm Moore. We've got a great turnout. So what are we going to be talking about today? Well, there's not really a lot going on in the news, although Rapido have been sharing some bits and pieces, mostly along the lines of their Titfield Thunderbolt bits and pieces. Now, we've seen the really quite nice renders of that Great Eastern Railway coach and confirmation that we're going to be getting not just the Titfield Thunderbolt versions, but they will be doing versions that are more applicable to everyday use, so to speak. And I suspect that a lot of the, if not all of the items that they're releasing, they do have an eye for what I will dub main range versions of those. So I think it's a Laureate wagon, the four-wheel drop well Great Western Railway machinery wagon, the one which had the mock-up of the sort of pseudo pre-grouping coach on it in the Titfield Thunderbolt. That is going to be released as well. They've announced the GWR version and BR Engineers Black. I'd love to see that actually coming out in a variety of other liveries if possible. Hold on one moment. Hello? Oh, okay. Sorry everybody. We appear to have forgotten the song. So we've had a caller from Irate of Chipping Bunbury, and I'm just going to put them on. So hold on a moment. Right, caller, you're live on air. Please don't swear. I can't actually hear what they're saying. It's great. Right. So, so concerned of Chipping Bunbury. Are you happy now? Yes. The cupboard monkey would like everybody to know that she's downstairs entertaining family guests, which is why she's not in the room with me, why I'm flying solo. But there we are. Anyway, concerned of Chipping Bunbury. Would you mind getting lost now? Bye-bye. Blimmin' nuisance callers, eh? Hey. Right, anywho. Right, my phone's just gone all weird. Weirdy. Right, anyway, I got interrupted there. I do dislike being interrupted, but who else have we got here? The Aylesmead Project, SHGP Media, Peter Jackson, sorry, Martin Halstead, Francis Wadsworth, Worthington Model Railway, Bo Minnick. We've New Western Grove says, finally I'm able to make my model railway. I'm going for a World War II North-East branch line. But I have a 6.5 feet by 11 feet L shape, and plus a box at the bottom to work with. And it's amazing what you can do in quite a small space. It has to be said. Jerry BVR says it's okay. We'll just talk amongst ourselves. Leslie Gilpin says, could just hear the odd County Durham accent. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. The Cupboard Monkey thinks that, we're really slick here, but, she has been here. PVA, J Cloth, Alan Reynolds says, I am watching while in the loft at Buckland Junction, working on the scenery with, of course, PVA and J Cloth. Egg Rider says, I didn't know that the Cupboard Monkey had a reduced volume option, or did the delivery from Billy get delayed? Yes, pretty much. Ralph Davies says, hi everyone from South Africa, enjoy the show. We have got some Warbler Productions as well. It says, could only just hear the Cupboard Monkey, still nice to hear her. I'm not really, that's kind of just how loud it comes through on my phone. Madden Steam Railway says, the way with nuisance callers is just simply to say, you are the weakest link, goodbye. Or alternatively, I'm afraid you'll have to speak up because there's no phone at this address just before you hang up. Malcolm Phillips says, had a busy day today. Blockades on 3 lines due to points renewal. Oh no. Daniel's OO Model Railway says, hello all. Bought a new Bankman Class 20. Excellent. Paul Murphy asks, did you have a nice Christmas, Jenny? Yes, I did actually. I had a proper family Christmas for the first time in a couple of years, which is really, really good. And thank you ever so much for your generosity there. Hythe Kent has very, very generously donated £1.79 on the Super Chat and says, grrr, broken right-hand footstep on my Caledonian 812 Blue. Oh my word. I think you just very, very carefully glue it back on. I think it's probably the best way, but so sorry to hear that. Alan Reynolds saying hello to everybody in the chat. Cameron Patterson says good evening to all from Glasgow. I'm back, old phone chukti. Roger Wolstenholme says I'm too full and not eating till February. Everybody says that, and then by the evening it's like, well, I'm sure we can fit in some more turkey. Simon Train's Model Railway Showcase says, think your phone needs a Billy's replacement speaker. No, because it'd probably make me deaf. Ben Tullett says, I bet no one knows the Laureate Y-Wagon used in the filming of the Titfield Thunderbolt film is actually still in existence at the Severn Valley Railway. Now, I knew that some bits and pieces did still exist, so it is great to hear. Although I believe the coach got scrapped, or was it that there was 2 coaches and the other one got scrapped? I'm not quite sure which way around it was, but certainly back in a time when a lot of stuff was just getting junked. And you've got to remember that at the time, the film, it was a case of film and forget, stuff was just getting junked right, left and centre. The branch line that it was filmed on was closed as well and was destined to be ripped up shortly after filming. Peter Jackson asks, hi Jenny, quick question. How many ICI hoppers do you have? Just the one? Yes, the one that you see on the screen at the moment is the only one that I have. Now, the doctor is in, but unlikely to be moving, because I am sadly flying solo up here. David Leister says, sad news today when I read that Peter of Caister Loco passed away on Christmas Day. Very sorry to hear that. Yes, I did read that as well. Breeze at 707 says, Jen, did you get anything nice for your model railway? I got Bank of England gift tokens, so I will be hoping to they're currently burning a hole in my purse, so I'm going to be looking to convert them into model railway goodness at some point in the near future. But yeah, Bank of England gift tokens currently. Harry Sedgwick says, well, hello and good evening. Jennifer Kirk and Zoe Kirk Robinson. It's Harry Sedgwick here. Was having a good time at Christmas. It's good to hear that people have been having a good time. 57305 Northern Princess. Evening all. Taking a rest from tidying my room. Now enjoying coffee with Baileys and the show. Absolutely. Hello to Maverick. Ruben Ashwell, New Western Grove, says I found a 1980s wartime black B12 for £35, which I'm planning to detail. Oh, excellent. Now, I did try and run my B12, but sadly, I wouldn't say it popped the decoder, but there's something squiffy going on with the decoder. It hasn't actually burnt through the heat shield on the decoder, which means that it is currently under full warranty. Woohoo! So I'm not pushing my luck by trying it and trying it. It basically has been tried in 2 locos, not working. So I'm going to be looking to try and get that exchanged. And that's something that you will find is that generally speaking, now if you've got a hole burnt through the heat shield on a decoder, then they're generally considered not under warranty, because that's essentially the voltage rectifier having been popped and burnt out, usually by a short. But if that hasn't popped, then that means that the fault lies in the decoder, and you can claim on warranty, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Now, I did put another decoder in the locomotive, and it does still work absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with the locomotive. The only problem is that the decoder I put into it doesn't have the means to attach a stay alive, which the previous one did. So it's not running quite so well. So I decided to swap it for Miles Beaver, the A4 that's going round. Dongis Model Railway says those Bank of England gift tokens are dropping in value about 5% a year at the moment. Don't sit on them too long. Don't you worry, they'll be spent by New Year's Eve. John JMC says, what decoder is that then? It's actually a the one that was in the decoder. It's a DCC Concepts Zen Black, and they do come with a lifetime warranty. So it is warranted. I'm quite happy with that. I know with some of the decoder manufacturers, they wash their hands of any faults, claim that clearly you did something wrong. But DCC Concepts are very, very good, and they do honour that lifetime warranty. So I'm very confident with that. Nigel Cole says, having sent my Hornby LNER W1 Hush Hush with broken smoke deflectors back to Hornby, fortunately they sent me a replacement in good condition. And that is good that they have sorted that out. And I would suspect, given the number of people having problems with broken smoke deflectors, that they have probably had air freighted in replacement bodies from the manufacturer, who it clearly does look like is at fault, somehow managed to cause a lot of damage. David, it's my model railway, says, Jenny, did you see that OO Rail has got hold of a new APT somehow from a dealer in Hong Kong? Now, that is interesting. Now, I will follow that up. I hadn't seen that. But I'll tell you now, they're likely to... There's likely to be a lot of trouble over that. Because not least, Hornby will be very interested as to how they've got hold of that. And it would strike me that somebody is going to get a blooming good kicking. And believe me, Hornby, they don't mess about or mince their words. You know, they will protect their intellectual property. Dominic Z says, Jenny, the soundtrack from Kickline Kart is a bop. I loved playing this game as a child. Kickline Kart was released in 2001, by the way. Always good to know from Dominic Z, our Kickline correspondent. John JMC says no burn marks. If no burn marks, you'll be okay. Absolutely. And like I said before, it's effectively, you know, it's the guarantee that it's worth its weight in gold. That if there's any kind of fault, there's a no quibble, like for like replacement, as long as you've got no burn marks on the heat shrink. Robin Silver says, next year I'm going to the London Festival of Railway Modelling in March. And as long as that is still going on, then yours truly will also be there with Mineth Tatis. Bo Minnick says it fell off the back of a truck in Hong Kong. That's how. The problem there is, okay, like, let's, where's my hats? I don't have any hats, but imagine that I'm putting my invisible legal hat on. That APT is the property of Hornby. Essentially, Hornby own the moulds. Hornby have contracted exclusively to have that model made. If that model is turning up elsewhere from their moulds, it means somebody has stolen it. And to have acquired it from somebody in Hong Kong is, I'm afraid, handling stolen goods. So there is potentially a world of hurt there. And I will ask Simon Kohler after the stream about this. He may not be aware if it's only just come out. I hadn't heard. But essentially, certainly when it comes to models that are not yet fully on sale, if somebody from Hong Kong offers to sell you a model that's not quite out yet, avoid it like the plague, because essentially it would be considered as stolen property because it hasn't come through the appropriate channels. Just having a look back through. Russell Bent, no, shame they don't protect their quality the same as intellectual property. New Western Grove says, also, I'm planning to get a War Department Oxford LD goods. Your review of the ROD one was very helpful. Thank you so much. It's a great model, actually. We've reviewed it twice, 2 different production runs, both tested really, really well. Warbler Production says, if you want help with Mineth Tatis in March, I'll gladly help out. Thank you ever so much. I do have Les Cliff is going to be let out from the modelling dungeon and will be accompanying me. So it will also be an opportunity to meet Les Cliff as well. I don't know if he's actually in at the moment. But yeah, there's a lot of people saying very mild at the moment. Hythe Kent says very mild, and actually it is very mild here at the moment as well. Has been all the has been for most of the year. Within Model Rail says OO Rail has posted video on YouTube. And Flymo Chairman one says, oh, intrigue, yeah, avoid. Yeah, and essentially, even if you bought it from a seller in Hong Kong, then I'm guessing the review makes clear that this is a Hornby product that has been got through a grey import means. It's knowingly handling stolen goods because Hornby didn't sell it to whoever the vendor was. David Watt says, is it the new APT or the old one from the early 80s? I had the very early one with the all yellow cab. Wish I'd still got it. Now, that is an interesting point. If it is the old version, then everything that I've said is bunkers because clearly, you know, they would have it legitimately. But yeah, I will go and have a look actually after the stream, and I will ask Hornby for a comment on that. It's probably a bit. John JMC says, is it not a old Hornby model? Now, this is interesting now. Obviously, I haven't seen the video, so if it's been... it was suggested to me in the chat earlier back that it was the new one, but if it's the old one, then it's it's moot, really. Although David, it's my model railway says no, it's definitely the new 5-car pack. Yeah, and Gamehammer Classic Gaming, absolutely. And all I'm saying is that be very careful buying stuff on the grey market. If it's already been released, then there's no way they could track it back to you, and you'd probably be all right. But if you're buying something that's not yet been officially released, then just remember there is a world of hurt. Now, I had the opportunity to review, long before they were on general sale, things like the improved Precedent. They are out now, and I had that with the complete permission of Rails of Sheffield. They actually loaned the model to me, and I've subsequently now bought it because I was so impressed. And that's absolutely fine. If you can get permission to do an early review, then that's absolutely fine. Essentially, that's how magazines get the reviews early. Some YouTubers also occasionally get stuff. I mean, Sam Strains and myself both got to review the Hatton's Genesis coaches with the full blessing of Hatton's. Matt Ovell says, if old one, no harm done, but depending on the person, there could still have been an intent to purchase stolen goods, so don't do it. The Aylesmead project, Bachman had the same issue some years ago that you could get a UK product that hadn't been released in the UK, the model sold in China, came from the Bachman factory via a worker in it. Yeah, and when you go right back, it was said that the Meccano factory at Binns Road, there was more product going out in the with the workforce than to actually legitimately, and it was one of the reasons that Meccano was struggling. Leslie Gilman says, all down to Chinese law. I wouldn't bank on that. Because if the YouTuber is in the UK, then Hornby can still go over after them for handling their stolen property. So anyway, right. Valleys 56XX says all Steam running session. Not quite. We do have. Let me just change the camera angle. Let's see what we've got going on. Right, we've got Miles Beaver 60026 going around. That is the Hornby model. It is actually fitted with a sound chip. So we've also got a Thompson 01, which is doing the ABC DCC concept shuttle. You're also going to be seeing a Princess Royal. I think it's a Princess Royal. Is it Princess Margaret Rose? Certainly it's 46. What number is it? 46206. And that is... No, sorry, my eyesight's not good enough. That's the all-new Hornby model. So that's doing the rounds. We've also got the Hornby 00. That's the new Hornby 00. Duchess of Atholl just coming round there. You see it just coming underneath the bridge. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 steam locomotives, and then there is a 5th steam locomotive. Let's just see. Can we find it on the cameras? No, it's just tucked away behind the signal box. There's also an Oxford Rail J27, also doing an ABC DCC concept shuttle. But then we've got a Bachman Class 20. It is one of the older ones. Still a pretty credible model. Doing the innermost track. And then we've also got a Bachman Class 25 doing the third and final DCC concepts ABC ABC shuttle. Russell Benton says, interesting thing was ORL's APT motor unit was damaged, so I think it's genuine. It's broken. It must be the real deal from Hornby. Ruben Ashwell says that signal box looks a bit blue. Yes, I couldn't possibly comment, but I'm sure that Warbler Productions may have also spotted it. Hythe Kent very, very generously donated £1.79 in the super chat. Says, also got my London and North Western Railway improved Preston class Lucknow, which has sold out. And you see, now my top pick from the 3 that Rails were releasing, I actually reckon that the LMS maroon one, I thought that that was probably the most beautiful. But actually, Lucknow was sold out first. If I could have afforded to buy both of the review models, I would have bought Novelty as well. But I could only justify one. So, unfortunately, I had to let Novelty go back to Rails. And I was so gutted. But, you know, you can't buy everything, unfortunately. Melchester Model Railway, the Cupboard Monkey, is downstairs entertaining guests. So we've got a pact. The Cupboard Monkey will devote their entire time, and I will practice flying solo up here. Big hello to Somerset Andy, John Walters, hello, and Merry Christmas. I'm going to... let's try the summoning of New Junction. So... New Junction! New Junction! New Junction! Where are you? Come hither! Yeah. Oh dear. Russell Benton says, yeah, the improved President and Cali 812 are stunning. I got the maroon. Huh. One moment. I thought I heard shouting from downstairs. Yeah, some kind of rambunctious party game going on down there, so we'll leave them to it. Right. John JMC says, I'll go and tell him. Tell who? Sorry, what? Timbersurf, big hello to you. I need to get back to you, actually. I've got an email from you, and I do need to... I do need to respond to you to do with your 3D printed products. And yes, would love to do a review on those. Jerry BVR says, and with that, Beetlejuice appeared. Although it's Beetlejuice is spelt differently in the film, Beetlejuice, as spelt the way you've written it, is a star system, is it not? Alex Dent says, New Junction, come out wherever you are. AD Pullen says CR812 is back with best loco model to date. What's going on here then? Right, let's try and get this up and running. I have no idea why that stopped. So, how very peculiar. Let me just make sure that everything's doing what it's supposed to. Right. Anyway, meanwhile, back on the ranch, Ben Tullett says, also we need to summon Wardle Road, Wardle Road, Wardle Road, Wardle Road. I'm sure he's about. I did pop into his stream the other day. Somerset Andy says, we all love Jenny and Zoe. Please support them. Oh, yeah, it's really nice of you. Also, I completely forgot. I need to thank Derek Pensome. I did write in the chat before we started. Sorry, I got gas from the Coke. But Derek Pensome incredibly generously donated £30 on the PayPal.me link that's in the description box, and that's incredibly generous. Somebody's just said derailed hopper. Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, is it gonna... Oh. Right, hold on, let me just find the... Right. Right, let me just go and No, it's all right. Talk amongst yourselves, nice people. Yeah, you're absolutely right. All of the hoppers are playing silly buggers, and how can they derail quite so badly? Let me just get them back on the track. Right, I think that's them fixed. But Alpha, good spot there you were. New junctions. I told you it works. So it's great to see you, New Junction. How are you doing? Hope you had a great Christmas. And Robert Cicera says, Jenny, I enjoyed your top 10 Hellion top 10 review. Thank you. I really do enjoy doing those. It's one of those things that I did a Hornby one for Hornby. I then did a Bankman one on the channel, so it was only right to then do a Hellion one as well. And I am going to be looking to do a day poll one as well. So right, let's see, is this camera going to play ball? Yes, it is. So that's the mountain cam. Unfortunately, still back to front. Going to the dog, says Jenny Kirk. Jenny Kirk. Jenny Kirk. I'm here. I'm already here. Egg Rider says, one thing I noticed about the Hush Hush when fitting a DCC decoder today, the water scoop under the tender was only push fitted to the chassis and can pop off, although easily sorted though. Right, OO Rail, British Model Railway says, looks like some folks are asking about the APT. Yes, it is the new Hornby R3873 5-car set. Just curious how you got hold of that. It's not on sale yet, is it not? Stephen Simmons says, what is the Blue Kettle pulling the intercity coaches? Blue Kettle, that is Princess Margaret Rose. Let's see if we can just find her. She's just in the distance over there. And we're going to be, let's just try go to this camera angles. We should actually be able to find them. But yeah, that's the most recent release. They did do, I think they did an LMS maroon, a BR green, and a BR blue version. Different identities. But I was lucky enough to get the BR blue version. It is a lovely model. It is sound fitted. If I scrolled through, I would find the sound file for that. Now, Warbler Productions has very, very kindly donated £2 on the Super Chat and says, what happened to the Garrett in the Hellion Top 10? Well, I have to be completely honest. My Garrett is stored on a different shelf. And when I was picking locomotives out, I think, oh yeah, we'll have that one. I completely forgot about it. But yes, yeah, that's my fault. I overlooked the Garrett, so so I'm really sorry about that. But yeah, it should have been in the top 10, but unfortunately, I messed up. Melchester Molloway says, Jenny, are you getting the EFE London Underground set? I have no plans to, it has to be said, but never say never. East Coast Steam says, I'm very gun shy of Hellion. Poor experience with their modern image O-gauge wagons. I must admit that I only have one Hellion wagon. I've got one of their tankers, and I've not had any problems with it. But I can't really draw a full inference just from the single wagon. Game Hammer Classic Gaming. That is the classic YouTube thing, isn't it? Jenny forgot the Garrett, so you would all have something to talk about in the comments. It's one top tip for if you want interaction in a YouTube video's comments to boost its ranking, then I didn't do this on purpose, it has to be said, but one of the things to do is to miss one obvious thing off the list so that people then talk about it in the comments. Nigel Cole says Garrett Loco is small and easily missed. Well, it's this tiny little thing. It's this tiny little thing. It's oh gosh. Oh, come here, you. Yeah, it's only small. Oh, yeah. Held together with magnets. A little bit peculiar. David Watts says, treated myself to a couple of old Hornby Black 5s, about 50 quid each, and the gold-coated DC6 Concepts Rolling Road for Christmas. Excellent choice. Peter Jackson says that Blue Princess is doing well, pulling that rake of coaches. It is pretty good, actually. Hornby have kind of got the Princess Coronation and Princess Royals all sorted out. And they've gone through quite a few different iterations. It's... They run really, really well. I've got Duchess of Montrose, Duchess of Atholl, Princess Margaret Rose, and there's another one as well. I can never remember its name. Now, OO Rail, British Model Railway, says, I bought the APT from a model shop I sometimes buy products from in Hong Kong. They overnighted it via UPS. Shipments to Hong Kong don't seem to go on the ship to the UK. I guess they wouldn't. So, well, thank you very much for clarifying that. It is appreciated. Stefan Svensson says, for Christmas, I got a tank wagon from Harbour Hobbies, Oxford Rail, S. Briggs, Dundee. Well done. When I was there, I got one of their last of the Devlin Trawlers wagons, the Bachmann wagons, but I completely forgot to pick up one of those Oxford Rail tankers, and I've been kicking myself ever since. Madden Steam Railway says it depends on whether it's an OO Garrett or an N-gauge version. I think you'll find that an N-gauge Garrett would still be quite large. Iron Horse Railway says, good grief, Penfold. I forgot it was Monday. Hope we're all well. Absolutely. Yes, but don't forget that you can always watch back if you miss anything. And don't forget, everybody, tickle that like button and share the stream too. And also subscribe to the channel to be the first to know about new videos as and when they go out. Right, anyway, meanwhile, back on the ranch, we were going through what little news there is, which is mostly Rapido trains sharing EPs, CAD images. We've had the Bedford OB bus, we've had the Laureate Y, we've had the Great Eastern Railway coach, and there's probably some others. We've also had a post from a Curascale, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was. But by and large, most of the manufacturers are shut down over Christmas. I know that I did send an email to Hornby just before Christmas, sort of like, not Christmas Eve, I think it was the day before Christmas Eve, and I got an out-of-office auto reply saying that they weren't back until the 4th of January. But certainly, one of the things I would say that I wanted to talk about today is the Hornby 2022 announcements. Now, I know that we've had a lot of delays, so has anybody got any thoughts of what they think? Let's have educated guesses, rather than sort of wish listing, or like, oh, well, I really want one of these, but an educated guess. Let's see if we can guess, and bear in mind that I have no inside track on this, but essentially, I will learn when you guys learn. But I would like to think that the Hornby 00 range will be expanded, and for me, I think that the 8F would be a good option, because the current 8F is in need of a little bit of a warm over, and it would give the opportunity to have, and this is a little bit sad that I know these running numbers off by heart, but it would give the opportunity for not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 Hornby 00 special versions of 48158, 48073, 48109 and 48094, all in late BR Crest Black, as they were actually the 4 Hornby 008Fs. Simon Trains Model Railway Showcase says Jenny made a pun. Inside track. I have to say, not intentionally. Right. David Watts says, anyone else hoping for someone to announce the 6202 turbo motive? That's interesting. Now that they've done the W1, maybe. Wyvern Model Railway says, I would like to see the GWR Great Bear. Skipsy Train says, Jenny, if you're flying solo, will there still be videos at the end of the stream? I'm going to try and show them, it has to be said. AD Poland says something to do with the Railway Children new film. That's an interesting one, actually, because it suggested that one of the reasons that they announced The Lion hurriedly was that they actually approached Studio Canal about licensing to make the Titfield Thunderbolt stuff, and were told that somebody else was doing it. So I think that's probably quite a good guess. They have done stuff to tie in with Paddington before now, Beatles, so I think that is actually quite an interesting idea. Breezer 707, Southern Q class maybe, or maybe a Southern Z class. Also the 8F. The Z class keeps getting mentioned a lot. It is a really interesting one, but certainly I don't know why it's getting a lot of mentions at the moment, but certainly, yeah, I'd love to see that as well. Melchester Model Railway says, are Hornby carrying on with steampunk, I wonder? I think they are, not necessarily rushing lots of stuff out, but never say never. Ryan G says, more Class 56s, that would be good as well. Warbler Production says, I would like to see Hornby start doing 009 models, maybe even do the mainline Penryn Hunslet locos. Charles, Blanche and Linda. I don't think 009 is Hornby's bag. I think the problem is that they dabbled in N-Gauge with the Arnold range and it didn't really work out. So I don't think that 009 is on their radar. Francis Wadsworth says, I gotta go now, Jenny. Catch up with you next Monday. Happy New Year to you and Zoe. Absolutely Happy New Year to you too. And look, you take care, and don't forget that after the stream is finished, you can always watch the video and catch up with any parts that you missed. Ben Tullett says, Hornby predictions. Launch of Siphon G in Railroad Range. Absolutely, yes. I think that the former Lima model of the Siphon G may mysteriously now appear in a variety of different liveries. Lots of re-liveries of current locos and some Oxford Rail and die-cast crossovers. I'm trying to think now. 156 Andrew says, question, where is the place that filmed the Railway Children? I'd be guessing that, did they not film that back on the Keighley and Worth Valley Railway? Or did they go to the Bluebell? The Bluebell's also another one that they tend to go to for a lot of filming. Tim's Model Railways in different videos. British Rail Class 411 because it's my childhood train I used on the late 1990s. The Class 411 has already been done by Bachmann, so I will say right now that that will be an absolute no from Hornby. David Scott, 9F and Ginty, are you thinking Big Bertha? Yeah, a few people mentioned Big Bertha. I think Wyvern Model Railway did as well. And Madden Steam Railway says, I would hope that the following would happen. Holden 5F in Great Eastern Railway Blue. Southern A1X models, 1940s Southern Tender locos. And East Coast Steams, and I suspect more of the Pacifics might get their new smoke system. Well, we saw that briefly under test, but we don't know what is actually coming along with that. Whether that is, I suspect that may be a couple of years away if it does appear. Nick Girolamo, Bluebell was the later version. Warbler Productions as well says Bluebell. Yeah, I knew that this 1970 film was Keighley and Worth Valley Railways. I don't know when they where the new one was set. I don't think multiple units. West Highland Terrier Class 37 suggests Class 104. Certainly not. Hellion's already announced it. I don't think that a multiple unit would necessarily be on the cards unless Hornby retools their Class 110 or possibly goes for something like the 126, the Class 126, or is it the 124, the cross-country DMU. I think that the Class 142 is long overdue for a warm over. So I'd like to think the Class 142 might turn up. Certainly going head to head with Real Track. The E2 possibly. Valley's 56XX suggests Sanspirel. Not sure. We've still yet to see those rocket packs turn up. We've also not yet seen anything more than really the announcement on the Lion. So I think they need to clear the decks a little bit. I think that we're going to see slightly more chastened announcements given the delays that we've had coming through. There will definitely be stuff in the pipeline. Peter Jackson says Swindon units, the 123, 124 and 126s. Yeah, I think they're ones which would be interesting, but not really too sure. Tony Wright says new release of the Bulliard Q1, and the older one's absolutely fine. I could see it getting a little bit of a tweak to allow sound fitting in the tender, but other than that, the moulding's absolutely fine. Paul O'Donovan, sector liveries for the Class 60s and large logo liveries for the Class 50s, hopefully in the Hornby diesel electric range. Gamehammer Classic Gaming. Alright, okay, come on everybody, hold on to your pants. I predict a new clown-themed locomotive with an accordion in the middle so it makes a funny noise as it accelerates and decelerates. Okay. Big thank you to Flyman Chairman 1 sharing the links. Nice and on message. Thank you so much for that. Right, we've got 245 people watching. Don't forget to tickle that like button, share the stream too, and also subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Within Model Railways, Hornby 00 and Hornby Railways were fond of issuing never was's, and not so much recently. They were more of a, I think with Hornby 00, the only one that I can think of was the, well, there's two I can think of. I think the R1, but in that weird malachite green, but BR liveried. I don't think that that was an actual livery. Not quite sure what was going on with that. The other one was the Class 55 in plain green, but that was purely because Hornby 00 rushed it to the market before the actual prototype was finished, so it wasn't an intentional one. Valley's 56XX underground stock, not 100% convinced on that. Clive Cobalt says Class 310 EMU. Flymo Chairman 1 suggests a Royal Mail 725 set. East Coast Steam, Northeastern Railway LNER A2. Valley's 56XX, a CD460. Iron Horse Railways, have to say all my locos are sound fitted. I rarely run them with engine noise running. I might toot a horn or something, but I found the sound of wheel on rails nicer when enjoying the hobby. I must admit, I am a little bit the same. So, let me just... I'm trying to, oops, no, I just pressed the wrong button. Why is the blue locomotive not whistling? How strange. There we go. No, I pressed the wrong button again. Right, very cool. There we go. The reason it wasn't whistling was because the wrong locomotive number was in. Oh no, I'd not seen Kelly Ashford. It must be said, I put all the steam locomotives on for her, and she hasn't been in yet. J. Paul Anderson says London and South Western Railway, Uri G16 perhaps. I think based on the success of the W1, we might be looking at more esoteric locomotives. So I would suggest that the success of the W1, notwithstanding the problem with the smoke deflectors, is that I think that opens the door for Big Bertha. I think Big Bertha is definitely one which must be high up there. In terms of other locomotives, the Turbomotive, I think that is quite possible. 57305 Northern Princess. Oh, excuse me. 57305 Northern Princess. I have a feeling the Royal Train will get a re-release given next year is the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. I think that is probably a good guess. And Iron Horse Railways, absolutely. That whistle does sound like a Godzilla roar. Oh, I don't want macros. And that is Godzilla. Gary Brown, Great Northern Railway, small boilered Atlantic would be a shout. I think the Glen, is that a D40 or a D41? That is quite a possibility. There is a preserved example. I think also, what's the other one? It was used. Was it the Jones Goods? The Highland Railway Jones Goods is another possible. Going to the dogs. No, other viruses are available. Timber Surf says, I thought Big Bertha was a German railgun. It was as well, 17-inch howitzer, rail mounted. But no, the O10, the Midland Railway O10O Licky Banker was nicknamed Big Bertha. Leslie Gilpin says, if you do Big Bertha, surely the LNER Garrett might be more flexible. I don't know if that's a joke, but I think the Garrett would be too expensive. I think Big Bertha is more likely to come first. Peter Jackson, do Hornby still make coaches and wagons? Absolutely. Maybe some new liveries on those we produced. I think that we'd see some more of the white roof intercity liveried Mark 1s. We've just had the BCK, albeit the one that's in the National Railway Museum, but I'd like to think as an excursion stock there would be more of those released. I've seen some people suggest as well that Mark 1s in maroon but with a W prefix would be most welcome, as they have been very thin on the ground. And of course, it's very easy to forget that the Western region didn't have all chocolate and cream coaches. They were just the certain rakes were in the chocolate and cream, but they also did operate a lot of Mark 1s in the all over maroon. Paul Murphy says, I'm leaving the stream soon. Happy New Year, Jenny. Happy New Year to you too. You take care. Jamie Smith says, I hope Hornby released the Royal coaches with all the right windows in the correct places. Absolutely. A lot of people suggesting the suggesting that the Royal Train. I think that is a good shout on that one. Donget's Model Railway suggests Hornby will wait for 2023 for doing a new LNER A3 because the Flying Scotsman 100th anniversary. Now, I do wonder whether there will be something Terrier themed for the, is it the Terrier 150th? So there may be some of those. I think also guaranteed will be announcement on the 4 and 6 wheel coaches in new liveries. I think probably capitalising on the fact that the Hatton's Genesis coaches are still not with us. I would suggest that the obvious liveries would be Caledonian Railway livery, Great Central Railway livery, and also LMS / Midland Railway livery. Those three are an open goal. That is that will be an easy one for Hornby to put out. I think there's a lot of pent-up demand for those. They've already proven with the 4 and 6 wheel coaches that the generic pre-grouping coaches, that they would actually do quite well. Possibly even Longmoor Military Railway. I know a lot of people were trying to persuade Hattons to do that. It would be interesting. Mark Wilson, big hello to you, says, what about a COVID train with a toilet roll wagon, Sir Tom Loco, lateral flow test hopper? I think that might be a little bit too close to the bone. Somerset Andy, Jenny and Zoe and everyone have to go now. Thank you all so much for a great model train year. You all inspire me. Thank you. Well, absolutely. Thank you so much. And it's always great to have your company. Melchester Model Railway says, by the time the Genesis coaches arrive, we will be living in the time of Revelation. I think that they are due in, is it Q1 or Q2? Let's wait and see. Warbler Productions says, Hornby pre-grouping carriages would also be great in Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway livery to go with the pug quite well. I think logically, and Matavel says, Hornby should do a Caledonian Railway loco if they're going to do the coaches. The Caledonian single could be one for a retool. And I think that it's definitely something that they would work quite well on the basis that they know full well there's a lot of those Caledonian Railway 812s out there from Bachmann just aching for something to pull. Now, they know that, because we all know that the darker blue, the Preservation era version, is sold out, and the lighter Era 2 version is well on the way to being sold out. So I think that Caledonian Railway livery, even though they don't have any locos to go with that, would be a good idea. And you can see that the London and North Western Railway ones that they did, they don't have any locomotives in London and North Western Railway livery. And I think that those well and truly were with one eye on the Bachmann locos that have been out. We've had the coal tank, and we've had the Robinson 8K in London and North Western Railway livery, and they knew that the improved precedent as Hardwick from the Railway Museum and also Lucknow from Rails were definitely on the horizon. I know they were delayed, but the coaches were definitely do appear to have been synced to sort of come in with those. Timbersurf says, if they reintroduced the military rocket well wagon and spare rockets pack, the spares would sell out 10 times over as no one can ever find them again after you fire them. I suspect that legislation on toys these days means that things that fire projectiles are probably really, really hard to sell, if not there's so many new rules about small children and pets swallowing and choking on those things that really I don't think they could do that. AD Pullen says, LNER coronation observation car as in Hornby warehouse, or was in Hornby a Model World TV show. East Coast Steam says LMS Fury in for a shout. Excuse me. There's a lot of gas in today's beverage of choice, Diet Coke. But I think that this, my gut feeling is that we're going to see something to do with the Royal Train to tie in with the anniversaries. Something with terriers, reliveries of the 2 and 6 wheel coaches, I really do think that Caledonian Railway and probably LMS livery, those two definitely on the cards, would be my thoughts. Ruben Ashwell says, I'm going to go now. Good night, everyone. Stay safe and have a happy new year. Absolutely, you too. And hopefully catch you next time in the new year. Graham MCK, only catching up, seeing the APT review, was shocked. Was also shocked that the Class 800 still isn't in. I did ask Santa, looked like he's getting into trouble when I see him. Iron Horse Railway says, okay folks, question time. You've got £100, not a penny more. Do you buy another loco or more rolling stock? You can't buy both. Help me out. I'm afraid, right, see, I'm probably not the best person to ask because I have got an absolute load of rolling stock. I tend to go for locomotives. Now, the reason that I go for locomotives is because I always know I've got loads of rolling stock for them to pull. And I'm much more picky about new rolling stock. Doesn't mean I don't buy them, but I tend to major on locomotives. Dongit's Model Railway, controversial, says with £100 and not a penny more, I'd be ordering DCC decoders. And actually, you can get some good deals on at the moment. Peter Jackson, Iron Horse Rails, I would say buy rolling stock. You might get more for your money. But you see, what locomotive could you buy for £100? Now, one of the things that I've been trying to do is to see what bargains there are out there. And actually, Hereford Model Centre does still have a few, but it looks like you guys have really been buying stuff. I'm struggling actually to think of that many places where you could buy a loco for under £100. Mark Wilson, the St. Trinian's Great Train Robbery. Interesting. Valley's 56XX is 100 quid's worth of whiskey and a good night. Absolutely. Malcolm Moore, locos sub £100 are a bit thin on the ground. I think for sub £100, if it's brand new, you are looking at Oxford Rail, N7, Dean. Actually, no, the Dean Goods is over 100. So you get the Oxford Rail N7, or the Adams Radial, or the J27. All three of those brand new. Also the Janus as well. So there's four. You could get the Terrier from Hornby. You can get that for under 100. I'm just having to think now. A jolly good think. What else could you get new? You can't really get a Gronk. Both Bachman and Hornby brand new. You're not going to get that sub 100. East Coast Steam says I bought an 01 for under £100 today. The 01 is a great model, I have to say. Really well worth it if you can find one second hand at a decent amount of money. Matt Ovell suggests you could donate some money to your favourite YouTuber. Thank you so much. Oh, sorry, not me, somebody else. It's like, what, Jenny? What? Shut up! No, I'm trying to give this £100 to Laurie's Mechanical Marvels. New Western Grow says locos for under £100. Only ones I can think of are second hand. No, as I said before, right. Yeah, W4 Warbler Productions, Hornby W4. There's another one. There are out there. Stephen Simmons suggests Hornby J15s are under £100. Yeah, there's a few out there. Maybe that's something I'll do a video on. I think 10 locos for under £100, brand new or something like that. Worthington Model Railway suggests Hattons regularly have sales and a number of locos under £100. Yeah, not quite so much now as they did. There's not so many fire sales anymore. I think the manufacturers are getting wise to that, and also I think they're not making as many, so you don't get these fire sales. Mark Wilson, and predictably goes, no, not Hereford Model Centre. I believe the word you're looking for is, no, my bargains. Dongit's Model Railway, it says, my preference is Zemo, and I got 5 for that money for some locos without decoders or needing better decoders, and several pre-orders expected soon. The decoders that I actually use, I do use Trainomatic a lot. I wouldn't promote Trainomatic if I didn't genuinely like the product, and I do. So the majority of my locomotives, they either contain Trainomatic or DCC Concept Zen. They're the two that I do tend to go for. I do have Zemo's a good brand, Lens as well. Hornby TTS, I do think that they are great value for money. Ian White says, Hereford Model Centre have more of my money this week. I blame Jenny. And Malcolm Moore says, fire sales, eh? £99 on rolling stock and a box of matches. Iron Horse Railway says, I find I've asked this question and there's no better off on making a decision, but thank you all, valid points. My preference is a locomotive. And depending on the right locomotive, imagine getting a BR Early Crest J27, making full use of the affiliate link if possible in my video. You should also have just enough money left over to pay for the DCC decoder to go into it. Mark Wilson, Gronks. Yes, Hornby need to reproduce as we do not have any new ones in the market. And I tell you what we're missing, we're sorely missing, is Class 09s in Rail Blue. So a Class 09 in Tops Rail Blue. I'm not aware of any having been released ready to run from either Bachmann or Hornby with the high quality models. The only Class 9s I can think of is Bachmann did a Class 09, 109 that I'm aware of, which was in mainline livery. I think it was something like 09, 006. Hornby also did a mainline Class 09. Different running number, I believe, and Hornby did as well Dick Hardy, which is I'm looking over because it's over here, 09012 in Engineers Grey. Valley's 56XX is due a Class 13. I think the problem with the Class 13, as much as I would love one ready to run, I think the problem is that it's too niche. Going to the Dogs says TMC has a sale on. Ooh, I will be right there after the stream. Andy Brooks, good evening, Jenny and Zoe. Hey everyone, hope you all had a great Christmas. Certainly did. Stephen Simmons says Kerno have J15s at £77. That the J15 is a great model. So definitely. Do check out that J15. It's well worth it if you don't already have one. Dongit's Model Railway says, "Oh yes, please make a standard BR blue Gronk. No strange color panels, names, depot logos, or any other unique bits. Good for renumbering." Absolutely, bog standard Class 08s. East Coast Steam. I have the Hornby 09 in mainline livery. I think it might have been a Model Zone exclusive. I think you might be right on that, actually. The Bachmann one, 09006, was definitely in the main range. Frank Blythe says TCS decoders are my favourites. I think I've got a couple that I actually bought second-hand TCS. I had no problems whatsoever with them. Right. Peter Jackson says, I think Model Rail are Class 11s. I think they might be due next year. I think they're also doing the Class 12s, which leaves the only Gronk derivative that lasted long enough to be on tops in some degree is the Class 10. Although Bachmann, strangely enough, did do, I think, a Class 11 as Basra, the Longmoor Military Railway one, but it's just a reliveried Class 08, which I suspect is also what their 09006 was. Although I'm still not clear, outwardly, apart from the number on the side, what the visual difference is between a Class 08 and an 09. Right. We're going to be trying to show some of your videos soon. I'm just looking over to the time. So we're at 7 minutes past 8, according to the clock. So what we're going to do is probably around past. I'm going to try and start queuing up some of the videos and see if I can do this whilst flying solo. Ham Shackleton suggests all the Gronks are too pretty. They should release a really rusty one with misting panels all over. The problem with that is the tooling. You'd have to really tool up stuff. The Angels Share Model Railways. Great to see you. Big hello to you. It's good to have you along. Naive Gauge. I've just spent 2 hours looking through all my stuff for a couple of particular electronic components that I'm sure I've got somewhere. Isn't that always the way? And you'll find them when you start looking for something different. Iron Horse Railway says, I still think TTS offer best value for money for sound and functionality. Maybe a bit basic, but if you spend time with the CV settings, you can achieve near nirvana with running on most modernish locos. Absolutely. Penna Lane TMD says smaller wheels on 09s. Are they? I thought that was the Class 10s or the Class 11s, but I could be wrong. So that does mean that actually both Bachmann and Hornby are just relivering Class 8s. Because I thought that the difference with the Class 9 was purely a gearing issue. They're higher geared so they can go faster, but that's at the expense of tractive effort. And the reason for that was I thought that they were certainly originally they were for the southern region, and it was about being able to clear track sections quicker. East Coast Steam says maybe one of the Dutch LMS Gronks with the stenciled livery. Oh, now that's an interesting idea. Timber Surf says, I lost a box of 10,000 matchsticks for 9 years. That's a lot of matchsticks. I can imagine that's quite a big box. And Belmont Junction, hi to you. Josh's Railway Adventures. Ian White says, must not look at TMC website. It's too late. It's like saying don't think about an orange penguin. It's impossible to do. Ben Tullett says, regarding the locomotive under £100, there are those great little 060 Electrotren tank engines in UK liveries, about £70, and they're actually pretty good for the price. Yeah, definitely. Peter Jackson says, didn't 09s have high-level air pipes for the southern EMUs? Some did, definitely, but I think it's more a case of in working on the southern region, a lot of shunters tended to get those. I think Class 3s, Class 7s as well. I would suspect possibly Class 8s. Let's have a look. Any here? Just because I haven't got any here with high-level pipes doesn't mean that they don't exist on an 08. Alex Dent says, have you heard of the Class 66 O-Gauge by Daypole? Possibly, not sure. Not really on my radar. Right. Interesting. David, it's my model railway, suggests Iron Horse Railways, Hornby GBRF Class 20s are £76 from Hornby Direct. Now, that is interesting. Just do bear in mind that it's a warmed over ex-Lima model, so do bear that in mind. David Watts, different topic. Are 5-inch gauge locos all handmade? I fancy a Gronk that runs on car batteries with sound. Not all of them are handmade. They do tend to be hand assembled and fettled. But there are some that were relatively mass produced by companies such as MaxiTrack, Silvercrest, to name but two off the top of my head. Belmont Junction says all model train sites are bad for the wallet and Jenny's advertising. Steve Smith says an 08 will do 15 miles per hour and an 09 at least 27. Yeah, I knew that the gearing difference. Stephen Cameron says no one has brought out the LMS Armstrong Whitworth diesel shunter. Looks like an 08, but the jack shaft is between the middle and rear wheels. Yeah, there's some very interesting pre-tops Class 8 sort of like locomotives. In fact, there's a whole wealth of diesel shunters that some of which started out with the LMS, was quite an early adopter, but also the Southern Railway, LNER, and they don't tend to appear on the radar of the major ready-to-run manufacturers, simply because most of them are long gone. They didn't even make it to tops. So they're kind of really under the radar. Dongit's Model Row says, I don't think MaxiTrack ever made a Gronk. I don't think they did. I think MaxiTrack do the Class 25. Possibly a 37, and also I think a 35 in 5-inch. I'm sure that there is a vacuum formed sort of lid for a Class 08 you can get in 5-inch gauge. A big thank you to Robert Steers. Thank you ever so much for your generosity, donating $9.99 on the super chat, and says happy holidays, Monday Club friends. Thank you very much, and happy holidays to you too. And thank you so much for your generosity. It's always much appreciated. Right, Tim's Model Railway in different videos. Is that a Class 20 in blue? Yes, we have. There's actually two Class 20s sat on the layout. One is running, which if I go to, is this the right one? There you are. So the one you're now seeing just there, that is a factory weathered, I think, or I bought it second hand, so it could be factory weathered. It could be a really good weathering job. It's 20058, and it is the Headcode Disc Class 20 from Bachmann. And then we also have, if I go to this, that there is a Headcode box with the Domino Headcode in it. Bachmann Class 20, and that is number 20192. So there are two on the layout at the moment. Let's go back to that angle. It's always a nice angle. Right. Howard Pomfret, big hello to you. Dongit's Model Row says, once you factor that in, £75 per loco isn't cheap. Yeah, and of course, cheap Class 20s, you kind of need two of them. Although bear in mind that Class 20s don't, strictly speaking, have to run as pairs. They tended to once they were being used on the merry-go-round traffic, just for the extra power, running in multiple, and so that they didn't have to be turned for good visibility. But more than possible to run them singly. But yes, Matavel, absolutely right. 20s do look very good in pairs. James Hardy says, is that a Duchess running? Absolutely. We've got the new Hornby 00 Duchess of Atholl running, and we have also got a Princess Royal. I think it's I always forget the name of it. The blue one is a Princess Royal, and the LMS maroon one is a Princess Coronation. OO Rail British Model Railway says the Bachmann Class 20s are great. I've got 20158 and 20136 that I use for track cleaning with a CMX. I've actually got, see, 3, 4, 5. Is that 5? I've actually got 5 of the Bachmann Class 20s. I've got 2 in clean BR blue. One of them is with Domino headcodes, the other with headcode discs. I then have a weathered one with headcode discs. I then also have D8000 in gloss green, which was the National Railway Museum edition. And then I've also got 20042, I think it is, in Waterman Railways Black. Naive Gauge, LMS Maroon. Yeah, Crimson Lake, I know. James Hardy asks, are you getting the Hornby Hush Hush? We've talked about that a little bit before as well. I have to say that no immediate plans. I've talked that a little bit before. Robert Steers asks, which UK railway is the most fun to model? Oh my word! That's like that's pushing against that's pushing against an open door. Where do you start? Do you want in terms of railway companies? I personally quite like the Southeastern and Chatham, but I guess if you want an actual railway line, it really does. It's such a broad church. It really does depend on what you want. Whether you want to model an industrial backwater, something, a busy express main line, a branch line, a station for passenger traffic. Some kind of industrial factory for sort of a grotty backwater, whether you want urban areas or somewhere in the countryside. In terms of picturesque, you can't go far wrong with some of the lines in Wales, also Scotland as well. But then in terms of urban modelling, really interesting bits and pieces tucked away. Places like Birmingham, Manchester, London as well. So really, it's very difficult to answer your question without knowing a little bit more about the kind of things that that really interest you. Donna Guldan, hello to you. And Peter Jackson says Robert Steers, all of it. Dominic Z, our Kickline correspondent, says, Jenny, I also got the rare 2004 Dicky Toys Disney Racing Kickline diecast character cars as well. Oh, brilliant. Nigel Cole says, best railway to model and best era is the one that you choose. Ed Flame 4291 says, rhetorical question, to be honest, really. Gamehammer Classic Gaming says, Jenny, when we make our next mug, what do you want it to have on it? Billy's replacement speakers or Ivor Gronk's retirement home for old Gronkies? Why don't we make both? Gary Brown says, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all. Got to shoot off. Time to settle the young one. Okay, well, look, you take care. It's been great having your company, and hopefully see you next time. Valleys 56XX says, wouldn't mind seeing some Northwestern. Yeah, there's a lot of like the Cornish China Clay branch lines, quite interesting. But see, for me, in terms of industrial stuff, I love places like Trafford Park. Just the idea of unfenced rail lines snaking with tight curves in between factories, crossing roads, and just general grot. I like the idea of that. Similarly, the idea of a huge, great big marshalling yard like I've got up here, I do like that as well. But also epic countryside. And if you want something really to turn heads, why not consider making something like Bella Viaduct and the Stainmore line? Kirby Stephen East is a really, really great station to potentially model. It's a junction station, a lot going on, really quite some good eye candy there. And Bella Viaduct, if you want something to go to the extreme, then a model of Bella Viaduct with the double track across it would certainly be really impressive. XMG12, big hello to you. Stephen Cameron says railway modelling means a million different things to a million different people. Absolutely. CJ Gunther says, hi Jenny, saw you on What's Neat this week with Ken Patterson and I really like your model railway layout. Thank you ever so much, and absolutely a big up to Ken Patterson and the What's Neat this week posse. It's always an absolute honour to be invited on there by Ken, and it's a great show, and anybody who hasn't checked out What's Neat this week, then really it's well worth going and checking them out, because there's some great content on there, and whilst it is focused on the North American railroad scene, nonetheless there's some great ideas for modelling which are truly universal regardless of what you choose to model. I'm just having a top up of the beverage of choice, Diet Coke for anybody who is wondering. We're being good. Not really a big drinker of alcohol, it must be said. Right. Warbler Production says, I like the idea of a line running alongside a road with basic fencing and ungated level crossings. Could look very scenic if set in the countryside. And I can imagine something like the Wisbeach in Upwell would be really impressive. David Scott says, Bella Viaduct would need a huge railway room in 00 gauge. Yes and no. It depends on whether you make it scale. I think the sense of Bella Viaduct you could definitely do. I always like the idea of, I really wanted to build it up here, but it wasn't practical. But my idea was, if you have your model railway, say 3 feet off the ground, you would have your baseboard drop to floor level where the viaduct goes. So you would have that huge structure and that sense of something really tall is how I would do it. Dave Holloway says, Barnstable Station would be a good one to model as you could incorporate the narrow gauge with the Hellion 009 stock. Of course, yes. The Linton and Barnstable Railway did run into there. Right, I'm going to start queuing up some of your videos, so do bear with me. I'm going to change this to probably the most interesting shot for watching trains moving about, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and queue up some of right, I've got to work this out now. Oh heck. Oh no, what are you doing, you silly thing? Silly stupid boy. Right, okay, right, so let's have a look. The first one up is from Richard Swiderski. And just going to get that ready. So, just give me one moment. I've got to skip the advert. Big hello to George. The Coalstock Viaduct over the... hold on. The Coalstock Viaduct over the River Tamar would be a good one. Absolutely. Bo Minnick says Bella Viaduct sounds like it would work well as part of a module. Absolutely, and I think that you could make because it's basically a cast iron trestle in a way. So it's one which you could very carefully you could actually build it such that you could have a module that you could run UK trains over. But you could also quite conceivably run Canadian or US stock over it, and it wouldn't necessarily look out of place. The Aylesmead project says, watch out, Jenny's pressing random buttons on the stream deck. Right. Sound is turned off. So, right. Hopefully this will work. This is 46100 Royal Scot at Frodsham Station in Cheshire. This is the Christmas White Rose Rail Tour, 15th of December 2021. Yes, I have switched off the sound there. Tim's Model Railway in different videos. David Scott says, Jenny, didn't you get a crib sheet from Zoe? No. Oh no, you've been bold. Oh, good, it's gone past. I thought for a moment, there must have been that moment where you thought, oh, for God's sake. CJ Gunther says, I'm doing good, just relaxing and changing out an Athern Blue Box car from plastic wheels to metal wheels. The Athern Blue Box, just give me a moment. If anybody's wondering what an Athern Blue Box is, I believe that this is the Athern Blue Box, for anybody who's wondering. Oops. So they are Athern Blue Box. Right. Some great video here. You've got some really, really good footage. And it's a great angle there, actually, from the footbridge. Game Hammer Classic Gaming is now adding the links in the chat. And Nigel Cole says, oh my god, that looks almost real. Jamie Smith says, can I ask everybody to tickle that like button and give Jennifer the funds, the funds up? The thumbs up, I think that meant to be. And like this blog, please. Thank you. Thank you so, so much. Oh, right. Is it stopping at the station? I believe it is there. Oh, wow. Was it actually scheduled to stop? Certainly blowing off there. Which back in BR days, that would be considered bad engine management, basically wasting coal and water. But we've got a great video here. Let's just check. It is quite long, so I'm just going to move on a little bit. And she's underway again here. And I do like the Carmine and Cream coaches. Most of those are Mark 1s, and we've got a 47 on the back, 47614, looking quite resplendent in wraparound yellow with the small logo blue. Ham Shackleton says, Steamies often stop at Frodsham for water. Oh, is there a water column? How are they getting the water? Or is there just like a very long hose pipe? Oh my word, Manthony 1956 says, check out John Allen's Gore and Daffeted, Gorian Defeated. Thank you very much, by the way, for that video. It was model floor to ceiling with concrete floor painted to represent a river. Oh yes, I do remember that one. Anyway, look, thank you very much to, that was Richard Swiderski. So thank you so, so much for that. So we're going to have a look now. Who have we got next? Have we... Right, let me just... right, so we've got Mark Wilson. So these, I'm going to try and... Oh my word. So this is Mark Wilson, and I'm going to just... That is incredible. Just a photograph. This is the Swindon Works. That is absolutely incredible. So I am blown away. The very subtle weathering, but also you look all the kind of the I want to say junk and stuff, but it's, you know, the bits and pieces that really just bring that scene to life. That is just incredible there. Wow, just wow. And then there's the photograph of the real thing with the Class 35, and everything's in the right place. That is just absolutely incredible modelling. Really, really loving this. Always great models from Mark Wilson, and that's looking inside. And you'd be forgiven for thinking it's just the real deal. We've got, looks like a Class 41 warship on the right. Then we've got a Class 42 or a 43. In fact, we've got three, either Class 42s or 43s, I suspect. Class 42s, but oh, Jenny, if they're not highlighted, we should have a grey background in the list, not black. So I'm being told that we've already shown some of these, but I don't remember seeing some of these, but certainly these are amazing. I'm guessing that they're the Daypol Class 04 kits that have been adapted. You can see there the shunters under construction. This is just incredible modelling, and it looks so real. And there's the Class 52 lifted off its bogies by the overhead crane. Really incredible. Absolutely incredible. I'm rendered speechless. And there's an Intercity 125 again being lifted. So this is Swindon Works in sort of like 1980s. So previously 1970s, 1960s. This is now 1980s. Really, really incredible. Absolutely wonderful. The level of detail here. And then outside we've got Class 40s. I think they're Class 40s. Mark Wilson says, yes, they are the Daypol kits. So well done. And there with rail cars. Again, more rail cars. There's also the breakdown crane in for a bit of work. I see a Class 25 in the background as well. And there's those shunters too. I'm guessing, is that a photograph or a mirror at the back? I'm just wondering how, I'm guessing that there's a mirror. Do you use a mirror just to make it look like it goes much further back? But that is incredible, and I really like what you've done with those Daypol kits, because that really is effective, and you'd never think to do that, but it works so well. Right, well look, thank you so much for that. I'm just going to go back to there, and I'm going to Right, what are we looking for? So I'm going to let's have a look. Right, so this one, we've got a photograph from, this is from Charlie. So I'm going to bring this up. And there was a story with this, and I didn't read it. It's 3D printed. And it just shows what you can do with 3D printing. Mark Wilson says, mirror at 90 degrees, back and rear. Oh, wow, brilliant. And Matterville, yeah, I believe it really is one model that you can just swap out all of the stock. And it works so well. And, of course, Swindon Works didn't really change much over the years, so it does lend itself to posing stuff for different eras. Really, really incredibly well done. But thank you so much for sharing that picture with us. Let me just let me go back. That's from Charlie, and it says a 3D printed pressure tank. So thank you for sharing that with us. Right, we've got. I'm just going to read this out. This is from Henry Van Wyk. It says, hello Zoe and Jennifer. Thank you for airing my videos of a Christmas train on a train last night on the Monday Club. Jenny asked a few questions regarding South African rolling stock, and I could not type fast enough on my phone as I watch on my smart TV and type the messages on my phone. There are currently several manufacturers, those small companies that make South African rolling stock and locomotives. The most notable is SARM, which is South African Railway Models, produces just about all the coaches and freight cars Lima had made for the South African market during the 1970s and 80s. The quality of SARM is better in that it has full underbody detail and the models are prototypically correct, whereas Lima sometimes just repainted European prototypes in South African railway livery. Lima did make accurate passenger, guards van and dining cars, as well as some good freight wagons. Then there was also a hobby shop, Dream Trains, who produces 2 South African prototype freight cars, one being a rough timber wagon and the other being a car carrier, or auto rack as the American modelers call them. When it comes to steam locomotives, DJH produces at least 6 South African steam locomotive kits, and these are in white metal and brass, but these are quite pricey and difficult to build. There are also a few small manufacturers who each produce a few very specific types of cars, like grain wagons, container flat cars, and so forth. Then there is the mass market or more toy train market, where the Brazilian manufacturer Frateschi has stepped in and is producing South African look-alike locomotives by repainting existing models in South African livery. They have 3 types of diesel locomotives, neither of which are accurate but quite popular with the modelers in South Africa. It says now, a quick overview of my own layout. Waterloof is being built in a single car garage with tight clearances, as my mother-in-law's car has to be parked inside at night. It is double deck, as you know, with Waterloof, the main station and yard. It is situated on the left wall of the garage on the lower level. East London, South Africa, the harbour scene, which works a branch line from Waterkloof and is situated against the back wall. Against the right hand wall is the town of Alois, and then there are 2 industries, one being a cement plant and the other a car manufacturer. And there's a lot of information here. I can't quite read it all, but I'm going to just bring up some of these pictures. So just a few pictures here of the layout. Double decked, so you can see there the upper deck and the lower deck. And we always enjoy seeing the videos from this layout, and it's nice to see it in context of how it fits into the actual room that it's in. So thank you ever so much for sharing those with us. Right, Charles Gibbs. Again, we've got some more photographs. Charles Gibbs says something different, a selection of road vehicles on Wesley Tor Railway, all manufactured by Oxford Diecast. So I'm going to bring this up now. And again, really lovely, lovely photography and modelling here. We've got the B4 from Daypol as number 90, which is that Caen, C-A-E-N. But certainly the really, really nice level of weathering, just that nice element of kind of well-polished grimy is the best way I could describe it. Mark Wilson, just to read some of the comments, says, yes, Swindon Stock swapped stock between 1960 to 1986. Dell's Depot says, Hornby Class 20 and GB Rail Freight 63.99 at Collett's Models. Right. Good evening to Mel's, and then we've got Oswestry Road TMD. Big hello to you. Says, hi Jenny and Zoe. I hope you had a great Christmas. All the best from Tom. Thank you ever so much. Timothy Kynard says, good pictures. Absolutely, we're getting some really good pictures through today. I do like that. Was it the vignette with the sort of the fade to black around the edges, but the weathering on those, you can see there with a dirty black wash, you can really get a great work weary effect on a lot of things. These Oxford Rail vehicles do lend themselves to a really, just a quick wash over with a dirty black wash. Humbrol do a really great weathering wash. And then just, you kind of wipe most of it back and it just accumulates in all of the detail and really brings it out. Really nice shot there. I've got that same Bachmann Tin Tabernacle. It's a really great building, actually. It's a really nice low-down shot. So thank you very much for sharing those with us. Really great to see. So that's from Charlie Gibbs. Now, right, let's have a look. James Pets. Let's have a look. It says, Dear Zoe, so I have not sent a video for the Monday Club in a while, but here is a link to a video about the virtual extension of my layout using the computer to simulate trains. This video is a special Monday Club edition, edited down to... did we already show this? It's showing as unread, but I have a feeling we may have already shown this. But can I make this full screen? Yeah, there we are. So this is from James Pets. I do approve of James's contribution. So there's a lot of storage sightings there. I believe this to be N-Gauge. Also, it's true. Road TMD says, are we going to see the prairies running on a Monday Club night? The Daypole one has gone back to Daypole because it was only ever a loner. And the Hornby one, I haven't got it out running at the moment. It's just, I don't know why, I just didn't. This is something that, see, N-Gauge is very, very good at actually giving you a lot more usable space. And this is actually a really nice, bright railway room here. Really, really interesting. I know James does like a lot of the electronic side of things. This is, we're simulating in memory an area beyond the physical model we can build. Be a virtual extension. So this is really, really. I always enjoy taking a look at James's work. Some really great baseboards there, and you can see the big red emergency stop button. Probably really, really handy. But thank you so much for sharing this with us. I think Zoe has shared some of the links. So just double checking. There's a lot going on here. But certainly, I think Gamehammer Classic Gaming has shared the link, and this is really interesting. And if you're into the operational side of things, this is really interesting. So basically, it's showing where the train goes when it leaves the layout, as it were. So this is, again, if you're into the electronics side of things, this is really quite interesting. Valleys 56XX says, I really prefer a couple of DC controllers. Yeah, and I'm one of those people who, DC does definitely have its place. There are people who, for a lot of things, for a lot of applications, DC is all you need. But I like the flexibility of DCC, and James kind of takes things to another level. So we've shared a link in the description there. So a big thank you to James, who's, I haven't seen him in today actually. Has James been through it all? I don't remember seeing him in, but certainly really, really great to see. And this is something that I think a lot of people are into, that adding that little something extra to operation of your layouts. Then these videos are definitely well worth checking out. But thank you very much to James for those. I'm going to move on now for the next video. So let me just, all right, yeah. So just give me one moment. Zero Fox Given says the blue carriage is being run with the A4 class. Where'd you get them from? They're all Bachmann Mark 1 blue-grey coaches. Oh, sorry, the blue carriages with the A4. Right, now the A4, again, they're a mix of Bachmann and Hornby parcel stock. And they're, what have we got? We've got an assortment of CCTs, Checkout and Victor models for those. Hornby, Southern Utility, Bogey Van, Mark 1 full brakes, 50-foot XLMS Stania full brakes. Things like that. They're just an assortment of Bachmann ready-to-run stuff. Right. Let's have a look at the next one. C. Birkenell. We've got, says, compliments of the season to you and Jen. Attached a short video I've created titled Rail Track Running Session, where all the rolling stock is branded Rail Track. Thought you would like to share this on the next Monday Club. Thank you ever so much. So I'm going to queue this one up. Just waiting for the circle of doom to finish. So here we are. And I think we've seen this layout before, but certainly not at this angle. And I do like the use of the Pico girder bridge sides there to represent a bridge without actually needing to show what's underneath. It's a really effective way of having like a scenic break on your layout, especially if you've got tracks going from one side to the other. That looks to be one of the Daypole signals. Again, really great. Can't recommend them more highly. Do go and check out the both of the Daypole signal reviews and fittings that I've done. Certainly great models. I also like some of the platform clutter, as it were, the brute trolleys, the people, the bins, and even a nice little touch like that flower pot at the end with a little bit of kind of a gardening feature. Really nicely done. And the track work too, nicely ballasted. And we've got those dummy point motors as well on the side. Really nicely done. So that looks like a 33 there. Again, with more rail track infrastructure wagons. And then we've got that actually really quite colourful two-tone green class 47 at the front there, waiting to depart. There's a lot of really fine details on this layout, and it just shows what you can do here, because there's effectively most of the layout is the track. There's very little outside of the railway environment, but the way it's been done with the wall at the front and the retaining wall at the back, it doesn't look it doesn't look like it's all just track. It really does work quite well. Michael Pollett says, used to drive a Carrier Bantam as well at Victoria Station, Manchester. Oh my word, because they're a vehicle you just don't see anymore. Ben Tullett says, Zoe, I can't believe Jenny has managed not to break the computer yet. Might need to give her a medal after this. Oh, ye of little faith. Lee D. Holden says, Jenny, did you pick up anything model train related in the Boxing Day sales? I haven't. All I've got is Bank of England gift tokens. So I'm hoping to make a special trip to somewhere like Arcadia Models in the next few days when they open. I think they're open from Wednesday, and just see what we can get. There's 09012, the Hornby Class 09 Dick Hardy. I've got one of those. Really great, great model. But you see there with the I got so into that I missed the end there. Right, but yeah, those Pico girder bridge sides are a really effective way of doing a bridge without actually modelling the bridge. And that's something definitely to take away from that particular layout. So, right, thank you ever so much to you for that, to Colin. Right, John Gay, we've got, says, one for you, Zoe. Not my video, but it shows you these little engines. Single man operations loco. They can handle inside to open the firebox door on the back of the loco and another to drop coal in from the bunker. Right, so right, let me just get this queued up. Right. So that's on the DCC Concept Rolling Road. That is a lovely little locomotive. Wow, some of these European outline models, there's some really, really interesting models. And again, if you're interested in looking into a UK stockist of the European outline models, Arcadia Models in Shaw is a good place where you could probably pick up the very same model. Actually, that is certainly a really intricate little 040, very, very, almost like a tramway locomotive. Oh, apparently it's not right. Hold on a moment. Right. Sorry, I was not paying attention. We can't show other people's videos, so sorry about that. Right. Right. George Langstaff says, thought you might like this. This is from George. And let's bring this up. We have the spinning beach ball of doom. And this is White Walls. Let's have a look here. So there's good God. Not one, but two Murdochs. You're sitting on a fortune there, pal. Fortune. Murdoch Racing Murdoch. They're going for a huge amount of money. How have you got two? Oh my word. Oh, that one's well ahead now. Gosh, that one's got a light on it. But we got a. This is always a really good, fun layout. It's crowded with stuff, and it just works so well. Yeah, afraid the TARDIS. So I'm not in a position to move it around, unfortunately, because it's sure the way over there. I'm just flabbergasted. Flabbergasted at two 9F Murdochs. How have you got? Good God! Peter Jackson says Walton models of Ultracom also do some Continental models. Absolutely, there are a few stockists out there. Arcadia is one that I do know quite well and has a very extensive range. Really fun race, Murdoch Racing Murdoch. That one's got a light on the front. The other one doesn't appear to have. So really, really fun. Lots and lots of. They're not all Thomas the Tank Engine, but there's some at the back there, which I'm not quite sure where they, what franchise they're from. That looks like Donald and Douglas over to the left. Oh, the one on the inside is making up the ground. Yeah, Egg Rider says it's the first time I've ever seen a Murdoch and you get two for the price of one. And Going to the Dog says, thanks for showing my video rail track running session. Absolutely. Thank you ever so much for sharing that with us. Ben Tollett says, Jenny, have you seen some of the Roco models? I saw a recent video of one of the German tank engines with a lot of details and sync DCC, steam and sound ready to run. Yeah, there's some amazing, amazing models from Roco and a few other brands as well. And they are incredible. They make the UK outline stuff seem quite, quite primitive by comparison. Well, thank you very much for sharing this video with us. And what amazes me the most is the fact that you've actually got two Murdochs. I think last one I saw went for nearly £1,000 on eBay. So wow. Right, so thank you ever so much for sharing that with us. Let's just look for the next one. Have we got some more videos? I've got let's have a look here. Right. I think this is. Let's have a look. I'm just queuing it up. So we've got. We're onto 5-inch gauge. This is John JMC. This is Western Druid. And this looks a really great location. Is this Gillingham? Really nice. That's 5-inch gauge. I would really love to go to. Oh, that's a very short one. Love to go to somewhere like that and run my 14XX. A Southern Train Girl says there was a Murdoch loco on eBay for over £1,000. I know they go for an awful lot. Zero Fox Given says if you could tell me what to type into Google to find the long all blue coaches being pulled by the A4, would be very appreciative. If you do a search for Bachmann newspapers BG, you should find them. GRE2057 says eBay is turning out to be the grey market, folks. Found it out the hard way. Class 05, evening all. How are you all keeping? Sorry, I'm a trifle late. I've been tinkering with my fairly good new logo. I've got one of those as well. Got time for one more, according to the Cupboard Monkey. So what I'm going to do is let's see what else we've got that's come in. So I think we have only. Oh no, we've watched that one. I've shown all of the videos that we appear to have in the setup. So thank you everybody for sending in your videos and letting us show those. And remember, it's supposed to be your own videos, not other people's, so sorry about that. But always great to see what you guys are up to. And some really great fun models, some exceptional modelling on there as well, and some great ideas for things to do on your own model railway. And certainly one of the things I'll take away from that is that I will never be as good a modeler as Mark Wilson, but I really love what he did with it's just that extra detailing. The use of the mirrors, really great idea to extend the visual range within smaller models. But I like what he'd done with the class 4 shunters under construction using the Daypole kits. Really nice touch. Did like that a lot. But I also liked that use of the Pico girder bridge sides to create the effect of a long bridge underneath the tracks without needing to actually model the underside. So really great idea. I'm looking around here thinking, where could I put something like that? I don't really have anywhere suitable, annoyingly, but it's a great idea actually for anybody looking to add some kind of visual interest on their own model railway. John N from NC says Happy New Year everybody. Valleys 56XX says night Jenny, Zoe and chat peeps, Happy New Year. Martin Holstead, good night all and Happy New Year. And Zero Fox Given says I found them, cheers, excellent, glad you found them. Well worth having a hunt around. You may find things like the 50-foot Stanier rail blue coaches. Some places have them on offer still. Have a look on Rails of Sheffield, Kernow Model Centre, and just see, you might find some of those at a really great price because they've basically been in stock for quite a while. Manthony 1956 says have a good week and Happy New Year till next year. Be well all, good night. Leslie Gilpin says Happy New Year, Jenny, Zoe and everybody. Jerry BVR, see you all next year folks, all the best for 2022. Absolutely. J94, great to see you in, I didn't spot you there. Happy New Year everyone, sorry I'm late again. Peter Jackson, thank you ever so much for the generosity. Give me £5 on the super chat. Thank you so much for that. Peter says, thanks Jenny for another great show. See you next year. Thank you so much. So Timbersurf says, I have variable length bridge signs coming to Tim scale next year, and I do need to drop you a line. I know you sent me a message, an email, and I need to respond to you, and I've been really rubbish, and I haven't. And I've got to make sure it doesn't just sort of disappear down as I get lots of other emails sent. But I do need to get in touch with you, Timbersurf, about that, because I would love to review some of your products. So good night to everybody. Just looking at the time, yes, we have gone past 9. Luckily, we don't have to finish in good time for the Hornby Model World. It is actually being repeated at the moment, so I have been on again. But look, until next time, you guys, it's been absolutely an honour to hang out with you all. Until then, you take great care of yourself. Bye for now. I have not fallen asleep. I'm sat here letting you all enjoy the model railway. Harumph.